Hello and welcome to Lesson 5. In this lesson, I'm going to go through a detailed summary with all the things we need to consider when working with a reference image. So guys, we need to pay attention to the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, the hair, and the shape of the face. Yes, and also the eyebrows, although I haven't written it. They are a key feature in the facial expression. Guys, make sure that the face and expressions are similar to those of the real picture. So guys, what I'm going to do now is some representations of the picture we have here on the left with different styles we can use. Let's start with a caricature, which is, as you'll see, an exaggeration of the facial features of the guy. For example, I'm paying attention to the fact that the jaw is really square, the nose is rounded, and the lips are very voluptuous. The eyebrows are thick and black, and his gaze is quite penetrating. We also need to bear in mind that our drawing must have some similarities with the real one, so that those who know the guy can recognize him without any problem at first sight. That's why I've tried to keep the melancholic gaze, but on the contrary, I've exaggerated the mouth, the jaw, and the nose, which are not exactly the same but might seem familiar. And finally, the hair, which we are not going to change or exaggerate the curly hair because I think it's very representative of him. What you can do to practice all this is looking for images of famous people with certain particular characteristics and features. For example, let's think of people like David Bowie or Elvis Presley. Well, you don't need to think of famous or singers, but I'm thinking of them because they have significant characteristics. In this case, this guy has, let's say, normal features because he has a certain harmony that we cannot emphasize any particular feature. But if we think on Presley, what comes first to our mind is the quiff, his mysterious look, or his oval face, for example. So they have some features that can be identified very easily, and plus, they are very famous people, so it's easy to identify them actually. However, when we work with another reference image, and we chose it because we liked the eyes or the mouth, we didn't have to try too hard to make it identical, because after all, it's just a reference what we are using. And in this course, what we are doing is having a reference, not making a copy of the picture. So don't worry too much about it. And let's say I continue working with this guy. So the first thing I would pay attention to would be the curly hair, the voluptuous mouth, and then I would base my illustration on these particular features, so that when someone else looks at it, they can identify this boy easily and say, hey, I know this person. Thus, we are using the reference image not to do an exact copy, as I said, but as an inspiration. What I'm doing here is drawing the same face with different styles. And what I want to show you with this is that your representation doesn't need to be faithful. We can try out different styles using the same guide to practice with different interpretations of the same face. Therefore, these three faces share the same features I told you before: big lips, curly hair, square jawline. So basically, this is what I'm doing to shape our portrait. So now I'm going to do this last drawing as an example of what I just said to interpret an image. In this case, we want to make a frontal drawing, but a three-quarter portrait. So I'll be keeping the big lips, the strong jawline, but as you notice, it differs a little bit from the reference image. I'm just keeping only the characteristic that I want to maintain, as it is the mouth or the hair that I'll add it in a moment. The eyes, if you look closely, aren't looking to the front because we are using a three-quarter position. However, I'll be drawing them looking to the left edge of the screen, as the one I did above. Another thing I've emphasized here is the eyebrows, pretty much, but I like how it's looking, and it's my interpretation of the character. So guys, this would be the result of what I wanted to show you. And as a project, I want you to take an image and then use your creativity to draw it. You can do it in two different ways. One is taking as a reference a simple image, as I had in here, and then interpreting it as you like in a realistic way, for example, using the same colors or the same position. And the other possibility would be experimenting with the image and basing yourselves on idealized parameters, like changing the color palette or adding other elements, like, for example, animals, flowers, or other cool stuff you fancy. Well, guys, that's all. See you in the next lesson. Bye!